Everyone, welcome back to AI with Pallavi. Ready to learn another AWS service in just 10 minutes? Let's get started. Let's learn Amazon Bedrock. Most teams trying to add generative AI right now are doing it the hard way. They are downloading the model weights, fighting GPU quotas. But Bedrock can solve all of this. How? Let's see. Now, Bedrock will give them the infrastructure and a much faster path on AWS. Let me break that down. Amazon Bedrock has a single API that gives you access to foundation models. The hard way, you host the LLMs, right, on SageMaker or EC2. Then you manage the capacity. You have an ops team working on that particular model and scaling that. You can also use TextRAG plus some custom regex, but in a better way, you can use a foundation model plus Lambda. So it will give you clean JSON from any document. It can handle forms, the scanned PDFs, batch processing, and all of that. Also, for case of self-hosted LLMs, Bedrock, you get a managed by AWS section because you have a Converse API which will help you to connect to multiple LLMs. It has built-in conversation memory, it is authenticated, and you don't need to plan any infra. Also, let's say the hardware would be calling the OpenAI APIs directly or any particular vendor API directly. So they will be separate build. So the code will also leave your AWS perimeter and there will be compliance regulations as well. But in case of Bedrock, you can use Claude, you can use Nova, and all of those models are readily available within Amazon Bedrock. So it stays inside your AWS account, it's IAM controlled, and you just have to use the same SDK. Very common use cases would be chatbots and agents, document processing, code generation, and tooling. So you don't have to worry about the GPU stack, you don't have to worry about the infrastructure. You can start shipping the product directly by using Amazon Bedrock API. So just one API with different pricing models, zero infrastructure, and the rest is just your code. So that's how easy it is to start using Amazon Bedrock. Let's look at the Amazon Bedrock production stack. There are a lot of features within this. We have the foundation, that is Amazon Bedrock, gives you the API to connect to multiple models. Then you have Bedrock Guardrails, you have Bedrock knowledge bases, agents, and then how to connect that to your application. From foundation models to production ready AI, it has all. Now, for this particular video, we are just going to focus on the Amazon Bedrock features, the APIs, and when to use what. And in subsequent videos, we are going to see the guardrails, knowledge bases, agents, and others. So let's get started. Amazon Bedrock is a single API that gives you access to foundation models from Anthropic, Meta, Mistral, Cohere, Stability AI, and Amazon's own Titan and Nova families. So you don't have to deploy anything. You don't have to manage the GPUs. You just make an API call, you get a response, you pay per token. So this is how easy it is to use Amazon Bedrock. Think of it as an EC2 of large language models, except you're not provisioning instances. You're just calling models that AWS keeps running on your behalf. And you can swap between Claude, Llama, and Nova by changing one parameter in your request. The API which can be used here is Converse API or Invoke Model API. You just have to pay per token. It's already IAM authenticated and also region isolated. And you can call it from any of your applications: Lambda, ECS, EC2, SDK, CLI, or even direct API. So let's look ahead more features within this Amazon Bedrock. Now you can see there are different inferencing mode present within Amazon Bedrock. Now what is inferencing? Inferencing is actually means that you are sending a prompt to a foundation model and getting a response back. That's it. You don't need to train, you don't need to manage infrastructure, and you don't need any model hosting. You are just using the model. So think of it like you're calling an API where the brain or the LLM is already built. You just send a question, it thinks, and it returns an answer. But there are different modes for doing that. First one is on demand. That is a default starting point. So you just have to pay per token, no commitment, and it can be throttled by service quotas. Then you have provisioned throughput. Let's say you have some critical applications being built, and those applications require Bedrock inferencing. In that case, you can provision throughput as well. You know that you have a high volume coming up, and you don't want it to get throttled. Use provision throughput in that case. Then you can use cross-region inference when it's essential, right? Let's say it can auto route across regions, so it gives you highest throughput and it dodges the quota limits because majorly the quota limits are per region. You also have batch inference, which is mostly the async welcome, right? And it also gives you some more benefits. So you have an S3 input and output. It's majorly used for best for offline jobs, evals, runs, and the backfills. So that's how easy it is. Now, there are different API types for all of these features. You have a converse API. So for any code, you can use this. It has a unified request response that can shape across all model providers. So you don't have to change these APIs respective to the model providers, right? Because Claude, then we have Mistral, we have others. So they might have their own way of inferencing. So you don't have to worry about that. Just use the Converse API given by Bedrock. Then you also have invoke model, majorly for legacy use because it has a model specific request format. So switching providers means you have to rewrite your code. So that's how it lacks those features. Then you have the control plane, which is Bedrock, right? So you manage models, guardrails, you use the features which are there on the console. That's how easy you can do it. Now, just a pro tip for default for production, you should use Converse API, then use cross-region inference and on-demand pricing. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the Amazon Bedrock console now. Now you can see there are a lot of features here. You have a model catalog where you can see all the models integrated with Amazon Bedrock. It has over 100 foundation models from industry leading providers and emerging leaders. You can also have a serverless model, Bedrock Marketplace, or custom models which you might have created. There is a model spotlight as well where you can see which types of models are present. You can go ahead and do that. You might need to raise access to a few of these models. So that's something which you can do. You can create API keys. There are labs already available, how you can design their quotas, compare the models, and you have playgrounds as well. So let's go ahead and quickly explore this. But first, let's go ahead and see the model catalog. So there are multiple models already present, right? So you will be able to see that there are all those models present within Bedrock console. So you just have to enable these models. Most of these are serverless. They have cross-region inference already provided. And then you can choose whichever model you want to enable. Now for Anthropic specifically, you might have to give a bit more details about your company, how you want to use, the use cases you want to use it for, and other details. But it's very easy to do that and you can get it. Then you have Bedrock Marketplace as well, where people are actually launching and sharing their models for everyone to use. So you can see there are different models already provided and you can go ahead and use it. You can choose the providers if you want to filter which all models are being used. For example, you can see all the Anthropic Claude models, right? Then you have meta models, you have models from Amazon and others. Now, once you identify these models, you can go ahead and start working with these models. So you can generate text, you can generate stream responses, analyze the media. For generate text, you can generate the API key, you can install and hit your first API request. Similar for streaming responses, you just have to do all these changes. Now, API keys. It's very important to understand why we need them. Now, API keys are actually being used to identify the client, and it has a great usage to identify the billing as well accordingly, right? There are short-term API keys which majorly last up to 12 hours, like based on the current console session you have, and long-term API keys. If you want to use long-term API keys, you can generate long-term API keys and define the expiration date. So you can have advanced permission as well related to long-term API keys. So it's nothing but just the API key you need to use when you're making the Bedrock API calls, which we have seen, right? We saw different APIs present within Bedrock. So to make a call to any of that API, you need this API key. Just ensure you check the quotas as well, and you have a way to view the open increase request. So let's say you have requested for any of the quota changes, you can do that. Now, based on the model, there are different quotas which are provided. For example, for Anthropic, Claude 3 Haiku model, the TPM is 4 million, then you have RPM that is different, right? And you can do a request quota increase. You can see for specific models you can increase, but for a few models you cannot. So it totally depends. So based on the inference type, based on the provider. You can verify what is the quota associated with them and you can go ahead. TPM, RPM, transaction per minute and request per minute. So that's how easy you can understand it. I'll share the link in the description for what they actually mean and how to understand them further. Then you can do a compare model option as well. So there are multiple models already present and there are comparison present as well. So you can see for Claude Opus 4.6, what are the model capabilities, and you can compare it to Sonnet, you can compare it to Haiku. For example, let's see some visible details. So default quotas is this, that is geo cross region inferencing for Opus, for Sonnet and for a Haiku. So it differs, right? Then service tiers, what are the service tiers? Batch inferencing, structured outputs, what is present, what is not present. So accordingly, you can make the choice. Then very important feature, playground. So you just have to select a model, whichever model you want to use. Let's try Nova Pro, and let's say if you want to define the input output as well, so it will just filter these models. So they have created a very good console for Bedrock, which you can directly use. Now let's say if you are using Nova Pro, if you ask that explain quantum theory to me. So let's see how it responds. If you want to compare it with some other model as well, that's also possible, right? You want to compare the model, so let's go ahead and do it. We can choose any other model from, let's say, Google. If you use this, let's see how it will change. And let me ask the question again. Explain quantum theory to me. So you can see how the response will differ from Nova Pro and from Llama. What was the time taken by each of these models, and that's how easy it is. So while we got the answer from Nova Pro, from Llama we are still waiting. So this is how easy it is to compare the models as well. You have chat mode, you have single prompt mode as well, and you can identify that. So we got the answer as well, we got the concept. So it doesn't mean that if any particular model is replying a bit late, that it's bad. It's not like that. It depends the features and the details which are provided. So, and what you actually need. So accordingly, you can choose the model. So you have this compare option as well present in the console itself. Then you have watermark detection, where you can just upload an image, you can identify which model has generated it, majorly from Titan image generator, Nova Canvas model and Bedrock. So that's how it can work. Tokenizer. If you just want to identify what are the right tokens which you are using in input and output, so you can verify that as well using this. Then you have inference profile. Inference profile is super important in case you want to do cross-region inferencing. You have to define an inference profile so that that same profile can be used to make requests to multiple regions. So you just have to add the inference profile details. Already there are some system-defined inference profile. If you want to define inference profile for any particular application, you can do that as well. You can select the models and details like that. So it will be specific to that model only. But AWS Bedrock has already given you some inference profile as well. Then you have batch inferencing. If you want, you can just create a job. You just have to give the details about the API, the model you want to use, what is input data, what is output data location, the access, basically the role which can use that to create or perform this job, right? So that's how easy it is to do that. Then you can define provision throughput as well. If you want to purchase provision throughput, that's also possible, and you can edit and delete that anytime. In this case, you just have to give the commitment term and model units, how many model units you need to use. So model unit delivers a specific throughput level for a specified model. So you will be able to identify how many model units you need, right? And based on the model also it changes. So once you do this, you will see the pricing information as well, and you're good to go. So we saw tokenizer, we saw inference profile, provision throughput. Then you also have custom model on demand. For example, you can create custom model deployment. You are working on some model, making some changes and going ahead. So you can define custom models. You can fine tune the custom models as well. You can choose a model, add your input data, add the reward function. So these are more technical concepts where you need to know how to operate with the models. So you need deep understanding about model tuning and fine tuning, and how you are giving the data, what are the tuning techniques as well. So that's how you can identify this. Okay, so these are the major features which we have within Amazon Bedrock, which you should know if you're getting started with Amazon Bedrock. In further videos, we will cover agents, we will cover knowledge bases, guardrails, and other features. So stay tuned and start using Amazon Bedrock for sure. And just like that, you have learned another AWS service in 10 minutes. Hit that subscribe button if you like this video, and comment if you have any questions related to this service, or if there is any service you want me to focus next. Happy learning!